Apparently, pimpin' is easy. I'm Sam.
Why do some of those women look like men? I'm Jackie.
Justin is my name, and fucking up my taxes is my game. This is Dolemite on Stinker Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at this!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at this!
It stinks.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness, the podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers by bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. This week on the show, we got a movie from the 70s called Dolemite, starring Rudy Ray Moore.
1975.
1975, the last of my three-piece blaxploitation series that I might circle back to at some point. But either way, Rudy Ray Moore in Dolemite. None of us had seen it before, and wow. Sam, let's just go ahead and get started with you. And what's your boring bullshit on Dolemite?
Well, Rudy Ray Moore is his they say stand-up character, but let's be real honest here. Rudy Ray Moore is a poet.
He's a slam poetry guy.
It's slam poetry and beat poetry. Even one of his albums was called something about a beatnik. Like he knew what he was. He's also been called the godfather of rap.
Okay.
Because he'd have a band play behind him and he would just do this. And they did that in the club in one scene. Like he's basically just rapping.
Right.
And it's very early rap. Like I don't remember because I wasn't alive, but I think the first rap that I ever really ran into was Africa Bambaataa.
Hell yeah.
And
Man.
I was like, what is this? What? And so because I'm sure there's a lot of simultaneous inception and things like that, and there's people doing it on the streets or whatever for however long before it ends up becoming mainstream. But this is one of the things that got rap kind of kickstarted as this movie.
Interesting.
And this man,
more
this man than this movie, say, but this movie helped a lot. Apparently, what happened is that Rudy Ray Moore knew a wino named Rico.
Okay.
And the Dolemite character is basically based on Rico because he would just be drunk and do his rhymes and tell his stories and people would laugh. And he's like, well, this guy's never going to make it on the stage. I'm a professional comedian. I'm just going to make friends with him and make sure that he's fine with me, doing this. And so he would bring him over to his house, get him fucked up, and just turn on a tape recorder. And then incorporate that into his character that he created based off of this guy, Rico.
Okay. All right. It's like Jerry and George's show. It just plays out in real life right there, Sam. That's how sitcom masterpieces get made.
Then we must talk about one Dervell Martin.
Dervell Martin. Isn't
the
he a basketball player?
No, he's not. And Dervell. He's the bad guy and the director.
Okay. Willie Green.
Willie Green. Apparently in the film, My Name is Dolemite that Eddie Murphy just made, I think.
Uh-huh.
Wesley Snipes plays Dervell Martin in that movie. And that movie claims that most of Dervell Martin's decisions directorial were being undermined by Rudy Ray Moore the whole time. But at that point in time, the only person that had really been in movies and around movies that's involved with this was Dervell Martin. And he had a small part, he had bit parts in a couple of Academy Award nominees. One of them was Look Who's Coming to Dinner or something like that.
Okay. All right.
But he got into the blaxploitation genre specifically with Williamson. And it's unfortunate. I think even though this movie is like, it's a spectacle, it's a thing to see. you can tell that there's two different people that have two different ideas about the version of Sweet Sweetback's Badass song that they're making,
Right.
and there aren't the same ideas. And that's the real story with this movie, I think, is that Dervell Martin thought he was going to get to make his own Sweet Sweetback's Badass song, but so did Rudy Ray Moore. And those combine into a pile of movie
Right.
that is very interesting.
It's a pile of movie.
Yeah. And then now that we're at the end of your 3-leg run here, I have a preemptive final thought on the genre for those of you listening out there that are interested and want to see more. I'm going to save you some time. I don't know if Justin's going to agree with me on this or not, but just start watching Fred Williamson movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
I don't know if
start
they're really
watching Fred Williamson movies. And there's a reason
I wouldn't
that I say
consider
this.
the entire catalog of his stuff, though, is blaxploitation. It's mostly just action guy.
No, but the early ones, many of which I can't say the name on a podcast, and those collaborations with Dervell Martin, which were frequent, that's early on. That's all in the genre, and it's all fun.
Okay.
And one of the things that a Fred Williamson movie has that most of these other movies don't have is a former professional athlete doing stunts.
Right. It's true.
And stuntmen doing acting because he realized, you know what? If this guy's only got 2 lines, I'm just going to get a stuntman to do it because we got to have a stuntman anyway. There's no stuntman in this film, and that's one of the reasons why the karate is the karate. And
it's all amazing.
it's not
TNT Jackson
as
was
bad as TNT Jackson.
It's
Jeannie
pretty
Bell
bad.
is worse, but he's bad.
He's awful.
He's awful. And I don't know if you noticed that the scene that they shot, the karate, was in Chuck Norris's dojo.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that on the internet.
And I didn't want to take the internet's word for it, so I just watched the credits all the way through to make sure a couple things. One, that there was only probably 12 people in the crew, which was confirmed. And 2, that was, in fact, they had to give him credit for using the space. That was Chuck Norris's dojo.
You think he would have learned something from Chuck Norris?
Yeah, I think there was a couple of competent karate fighters in the movie later in the big fight scene that they were fairly competent, and I think those were the ones that were lent out from the school.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is an exact time in Norris's career where he's probably shooting Breaker right now because, as we recall, there was a long sort of hiatus from shooting to release on that one.
Right.
But he hasn't really broke into the movie business yet. So he's still in that point where he owns karate schools more than anything business-wise.
And it's Rudy Ray Moore's fault that we got Chuck Norris in movies because he's like, it's so easy, I can do it.
Oh no, he was in the Hong Kong movies well before this, all the way back into the 60s.
That's true.
But he hadn't broke into Hollywood yet.
Yeah, okay.
And he put a school in Hollywood right there where everyone could see it, and it didn't take very long, let's say.
Yeah.
But this is in that where the school is his biggest business deal.
Jackie, you probably want to talk pretty seriously about the clothes and the hair in this movie, so I'm going to let you go.
There were some questionable decisions for hair. I believe the actress or the character was Pinky, and she had this really tight, like Shirley Temple curls going on, and then you shoot her from the back, and then she's got like this rat nest just kind of hanging off of it.
It was like she had a wig on top of her wig.
Yeah, it was really weird. And then some of the ladies who looked kind of drugged up, I think it was the first sex scene, where the back of her head is obviously she's just been on her back all day. And her hair, it reflects that. Like it's been pushed up and flat up against her head.
Yeah, like she was banged against a wall or something.
Yeah. Yep. Dolemite is a very, very fancy dresser.
Yeah.
I liked all of his outfits. Especially like the one that had the glitter on his lapel coming off of his shirt. Thought that one was pretty good.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
He had a gold rim coat that it was like the gold rim on fine china.
Yeah, exactly. It was gilded. My suits are gilded.
Yep. That's all I'm going to say about it. You just have to watch it. And I think he is a character that he changed his clothes more in this movie than I think I've ever seen any character change their clothes.
Than fucking Diana Ross does. Like, he
You haven't-
was constantly changing his clothes.
Yeah, I actually need to go back and watch Good Guys Wear Black one more time to see if Chuck Norris changes his clothes this much, because he changes his clothes in Good Guys Wear Black a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's like a fucking Norris fashion show.
Dolemite will go out, beat up a guy, and then go instantly back into his room to change his clothes. Well, I just these were ruined. I beat up a guy. I got to go put on my other beat up a guy clothes.
He does it in the climactic scene. There's about to be a huge fight. It's the big one. He just goes to his dressing room to change.
Hold on. Time out. Base.
Yeah, my white suit can't get dirty. Gonna need it for the show later.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's really hard to describe because his clothes are just so fancy.
Yeah, they're outlandish.
And the bow ties are awesome.
Do we think Rudy Ray Moore was high during the entire movie?
Yes.
Maybe.
Man, he looked baked.
I was spotting a lot of people who were baked. There's the one karate girl that's actually somewhat karate competent. She's also super competent in smoking reefer. She was high as shit every time she was on screen.
Usually we run into people in movies that are just drunk as shit during the whole time, but not it's not every day you run into a movie where the entire cast and crew are blazed.
And that you can visibly see and go, well, that person is baked.
Right.
Yeah. It's like they can't even keep their eyes open.
And I don't know if it would have mattered if they were sober because this movie makes no fucking sense. So,
well, you could tell that they kind of sobered up for some of the karate fight scenes because they're like, dude, you're moving way too slow. You gotta lay off for
except
about.
for Rudy Ray Moore, who never sped up his action.
There is a shot that he clearly misses the person's head by about 3 feet.
Yeah, like
And
multiple times.
It's like a knockout blow. And you're like, not good.
It's terrible.
Not good.
Oh man, I loved the karate fighting. It was so bad.
It's funny, but like in terms of competent choreography, it's very bad.
And camera positioning and
yes,
the whole thing, the lighting, the fucking boom mic. It's all just shit.
Yeah, we didn't get the boom mic heavy version, which I think what happened is they shot this on 4x3 and then cropped it and then just had planned on it being cropped. And so if you got the full screen version on VHS, which is something I did notice, I have seen this before. Roman and I saw the VHS of this and I remembered because of the boom mic thing.
Okay.
How often it's in the shot in that VHS version is unbelievable.
It's the one time you actually get more movie if it's in full screen.
Yeah. The stuff that they didn't want you to, behind the scenes, what they didn't want you to see, the microphone.
They're fuck ups.
Yeah. But it wasn't in the shot in their frame, right? So it's not necessarily Dervell Martin's fault. He did get it out of the shot. He just didn't realize the whole process,
Right.
basically.
Right. All right,
let's up a little bit higher.
Let's get into Dolemite. He's in prison to start. I think it was a setup by Willie Green, who dumped a bunch of coke in his car and then called the FBI and was like, hey, that guy's got dope in his car.
And stolen furs.
Yeah, and stolen furs. Because I guess Dolemite is just a constant thorn in anybody and everybody's side. So we got to get him off the street.
He's a fur trapper.
Yeah, right. What?
He's a fur trapper.
He's also doing life in prison for grand theft. Like,
Right.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So the warden calls him in, and the warden is amazingly terrible. And Queen Bee's there, his right-hand lady, and they're like, here's the deal. We got to get you out of here, and we got to have you busting that Willie Green, because it's bad out on the streets. By the way, your nephew's dead, but it's tough out on the streets. And at no point is he like, wait, my nephew died? What? It's just like, oh, okay, all right, yep.
I didn't get that it was his nephew because they're like, little Jimmy got shot. And then I was like, okay, why the fuck should he care? And I never caught on that was his nephew.
I don't think Dolemite really caught on either because
Well,
just didn't give a fuck.
there's a chance that he's got so many nephews that, well, which one?
Yeah, right. Oh, Jimmy 1 or Jimmy 6? You know, Jimmy that lives in the Hamptons, or
It seems like he's not exercising discretion with his promiscuity.
Yeah. So the warden's like, here's your chance to prove you're innocent. I want you to get out there, and I want you to bust some heads. And so we do get a flashback of him getting busted, weirdly. Like, that, what the fuck?
Let me run it down for you. And then it goes to a flashback, but it doesn't do like the flashback sequence or anything.
It's just cut.
It's just cut to this, hey, open your trunk.
Right.
You two cops go hide behind the bushes. And, hey, you, open your trunk.
And this is the
What's happening?
The first instance that we get of Dolemite's superior kung fu, because he's like, you're gonna have to take me! And then starts whipping their asses.
But then falls in the lawn and gets caught.
Right.
There's various times in this movie where I'm like, why are you getting captured? You've been out of tougher scrapes than this already. This one, you just basically drop your arm on somebody and they fall over and then you've escaped. Why are you getting caught?
Yeah. So he gets released. He goes out of prison and he's picked up by his harem, and they've got his pimping clothes already set up for him. This is fucking weird because he like just starts changing out of his prison clothes down to his skivvies to his pimping clothes, and like guards are just looking at him like, what the fuck is going on right now?
And the other prisoners are catcalling him and whistling at him.
I couldn't tell if they were doing that to him or his harem.
It was just kind of weird.
It's super weird.
But he looked fucking slick
Yeah.
when he got redressed.
Yeah. He put on his good suit so that he could get in the car and the ladies could take off his good suit, because he just starts banging ladies right there.
There's a couple times in the editing and the shots where I'm wondering if some of the sex was not simulated.
Yeah, right.
It looks like he's getting a real bluey and they just didn't cut fast enough.
Now keep rolling. Ooh, oh. We'll sell this to John Hughes. Not John Hughes.
Yeah, there's another sex scene that has a jump cut later where you're like, okay, what the fuck just happened in between that jump cut? What?
So
I know exactly what when you're talking about with the red sheets.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So he's getting followed by a hit squad immediately. I guess the FBI or Willie Green's like, whack him. I'm not sure who, but there's a hit squad after him. He's like, give me my piece, and pull over. So they pull over and he jumps out. That car comes up behind him and is like, give us Dolemite. I know he's in there. And they're like, he ain't in here. He's like, I'm right here, motherfuckers. And just starts mowing him down.
Mm.
And then he makes this guy dance, which was really weird.
And cruel.
And
Yeah. And usually when you make somebody dance, it's so they can run away and tell the other ones you don't want to come after this guy.
Right.
But he makes him dance and then he just shoots him.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's just dick.
That's just
this is a
dick.
total dick move.
And a waste of hot lead, right? You know, quit shooting the ground, Buster. It's pretty.
I don't think that
And
this
I-
was supposed to be in the movie. I think that he just went fucking nutso, and he's like, look at this cool gun I bought at the thrift store today. Because it was the 70s, and they probably sold guns at the thrift store. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, because that's what the 70s were like.
They did have to use a couple squibs in this, so that was interesting. I don't know if they're squibs, but it's just dynamite packs, 180s
Yeah.
in the dirt. So some actual special effects happening, which is, this movie only cost $100,000. I'm surprised they could do that.
Yeah. So he goes and hangs out with Queen Bee, and Queen Bee's tells him that Willie Green now owns everything. He owns their club. He's like the #1 dope dealer, and they owe him $50,000 as well.
And they almost lost their house, and they had to sell pussy on the street corner.
Mm-hmm. All because of Willie Green.
It's a hard knock life.
It's also the point where, because you're really wondering, so he's a pimp, and he's that brazen about it that he has the ladies show up to pick him up.
Right.
But then the filmmaking's dancing around, and you're like, is he a pimp? What the hell is going on here? And then they're like, oh, the strip club. And you're like, oh, so he owns a strip club. Oh, but by the way, we had to all become hookers. Okay, no, so he is a pimp.
So he's a pimp. But he
He's
was
a
in
pimp.
prison while they were doing that. So,
Yeah, I don't. So she's a pimp then? I don't know.
Yeah.
What's happening here?
Right. Willie Green's not going to be too big of a problem, though, because thank God she had the foresight to put all her ladies through karate school.
Yep.
Yep. That was weird.
I was like, oh boy, this is going to pay off so hard later, I hope. And
then
it does.
It goes into this long scene of a guy not paying that takes forever. And the one thing you're waiting for is for her to kick his ass. And when that part happens, they had to cut around it because it didn't look good enough, I guess. And then he just gets kicked in the butt. And then we're told that he's still in the hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, she seriously fucked him up and he's still in the hospital. The only shot we get is her kicking him in the ass and he's gone off screen. I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah, whoa, that
Maybe
karate really works good.
Maybe he fell down some stairs too. I don't know. Then like Willie, this movie is just such a pile of movie because it's just scenes that aren't interconnected in any way, because the next thing that happens is Willie Green goes to the massage parlor and just starts wandering around looking at people getting handies.
Yeah.
And then cut to Dolemite banging some lady.
Yep.
My favorite in this massage parlor is the two girls with the blue towel over this old guy's wiener. And the one looks like she is going to rip it off.
She's just pulling so hard.
This is not a hand job. This is an injury waiting to happen for this poor man.
No, but you don't know how much, Vaseline she might have. He might be like a greased pig down there. And it's taking all she can do to just keep a hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't even really pulling. She was like churning butter with it. Like just swinging her arm around.
It looked like it was too greased up and she was just trying to catch it.
It's like a leprechaun. Give me your pot of gold, penis.
I did like that when Derval Martin's wandering through his massage parlor and he's checking things out. He's like, oh, everything's going good in here. Everything's going good in there. And then he turns to one like old fat white guy that's just getting his butt rubbed. And he's like, oh, that's weird. That's just weird. Why would you do that? All right, you're paying for it, buddy. See ya.
Yeah, the guy with getting his butt massaged was my favorite. Like, oh, so there is massage happening here too. Huh, interesting. Later, the FBI is hassling Dolemite. They plant some coke on him.
That's not the FBI.
It's not?
No, those are just the local cops.
Oh, Mitchell and his dude?
Yeah.
They're just local cops. Okay. Because they were there when he got arrested the first time.
Right.
But they said they were the FBI in that scene.
Right.
Yeah, he was not the arresting officer in that scene. He pulled up after they got Dolemite and was like, good job.
Aces.
Yeah.
That's
but he
true.
didn't actually do anything.
He's just a cop snitch.
Yeah. So they're like, yeah, we know you're gonna fuck up again, Dolemite. And he's like, no, I'm gonna kick your guys' ass. He just beats up two cops, and it's the end of the scene.
Well, he scatters cocaine all over him too.
Yeah.
Because they tried to plant it on him again.
Right.
And when we say beat up two cops, he kicks one in the back who falls over forward and is defeated immediately.
Right.
And the other guy doesn't get kicked at all, and he goes down hard.
So then they go to a church where the Reverend is giving a sermon about Richard Nixon's corruption. That's God stuff, right? Okay.
Yep.
This was so weird.
It's so weird. And they find a pile of guns because the fourth ward is gearing up for war. What's with the guns?
I don't know, but the big man gave them to him. And
Who's the big man?
As soon as they said the big man, those cops backed off and said, I don't see anything.
Willie Green's the big man.
Oh, so Willie Green's giving guns to a church.
Yeah. No, Willie's basically stolen Dolemite's hustle all around. And now he's doing a bad job and it's too violent. They want Dolemite to come back in there and run things because he's a much more reasonable man.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see what's going on here. It's not that they're dispersing guns to the members of the church so that they can like have an uprising. It's he's smuggling guns out of the church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So basically what happens here is that the kingdom has removed the Targaryens and then decided that they should put the Targaryens back.
Right. Very good
Way to Game of
comparison.
Thrones it.
Yeah. Spot on. So they're like, well, we're gonna leave, but if you see Dolemite, you be sure to let us know. Some crackhead steals a hot dog
Hamburger.
from a vendor, and Dolemite's like, hey, you're the hamburger pimp.
Yeah. So this guy is just this guy. They couldn't cast the spot, and then they saw this guy on the street, and they're like, let's use him.
He's a crackhead. Let's get him.
He's a crackhead. Let's get him.
Oh, man. This guy is fucked up.
Yeah, he's a junkie.
Yeah.
He is fucked up.
He's like Torgo.
Well, it was weird because after he gets the hamburger, they just have this shot of him walking down the street, like, looks like he's going to go in and scratch his ass crack, but then he pulls his hand back before he gets down there. And then he just keeps lifting up his shirt, and it is weird.
Oh, man, he's tweaking hard. So Dolemite pulls up, and he's like, hey, come on in, and we're going to go talk in an apartment. And
At the junkie's apartment.
Yeah, at the junkie's apartment. And he's like, hey, what's going on? I've known you for a long time, you junkie. Who killed my nephew?
Yeah, he's breaking all of the rules in sort of trying to get information out of a junkie by letting him shoot up first.
Right.
Like, you're watching him do that. You know what's going to happen.
Wake up, motherfucker!
Get the info before it won't matter how many times you slap him, he's not going to feel it.
Right. And then some dudes just bust in and shoot him. Who are those dudes?
I don't know, but they get killed by Dolemite
Right.
immediately. And at every point that he's being harassed by the police, it's like, what are you going to arrest me for? I'm like, any of the 6 counts of murder
Right.
that you've just committed.
Yeah, the cops come in and arrest him, send him back to prison or jail, where
Yeah,
he immediately gets out again.
Yeah, he goes down to county. The other the cop that's chasing down the cops, he shows up and tries to act tough or whatever, and then
Say the line.
I don't remember the line.
I hope you
have
get
to
out
say it then.
soon. Right
Oh,
before the
that's-
cop leaves, he goes, I hope you get out soon.
And then the next scene, he's out.
Yeah, and then like
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Dolemite, you've been spraying. You can
Yeah,
leave
so he
now.
had to cool his heels in county for a couple days for murdering 2 guys when he had previously been in prison for life for grand theft.
Mm-hmm. And he's picked up outside by some lady in a red Corvette. And
This is Pinky.
is it? Okay. They go back and they go to Bonetown. And I got to say, this is up there at top 10 weirdest sex scenes that we've seen.
This is the one where they cut it.
Yeah.
And so they make sweet love or whatever. And then
sweet.
he slaps her around and she's like, oh, that's the way I like it, I guess. This scene is hard to watch.
I'm going to give you a fucking you'll never forget.
Yeah, so he does that. And then right when so it has the cut in the lovemaking. You're like, I wonder what happened there. But then it leaves all the bad stuff in.
Right. And they're making O faces that are just fucking horrendously bad. In
Right
slow
after he
motion.
smacks her around.
Right.
Just not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
Not good. Dolemite, you're kind of a bad dude.
Yeah. Like, boy, Willie Green must be a real son of a bitch if they're bringing this guy back.
So Dolemite calls his lady Shy, short for Chicago. And
I like how they keep explaining that throughout the movie as well.
uh-huh.
Like every time that we see her, they introduce her again. Shy. as in Chicago. Like, okay.
Just in case you forgot.
Yeah.
It's
like
not-
every fucking time.
It's not shy, short for Detroit. 'Cause that doesn't
It's
make
like
sense.
Marvel Secret Wars, where they all explain who they are
Yeah,
every
right.
6 pages. Yeah, you told me your superpowers, your name, and all of that, and your favorite color 6 pages ago. I know who you are. I know you're trying to sell toys right now, but I've got it.
So he tells her to go down to the club and get a key, and then meet him and get it to the key to him, and he's goes in and he cuts open a hole in the floor and pulls out a wad of cash that I guess he stuffed there years ago or something. I don't know.
Which is kind of a super dick move, right? In the meantime, he's been locked up. These ladies now owe this guy $50,000. They're about ready to lose their house. They're walking the streets trying to earn enough money, right? And he's got 50 G's just shoved under a carpet somewhere. Thanks, asshole.
I haven't yet been presented with a Dolemite as a guy that I can get behind yet.
Yeah, right.
And the movie's been on for a while.
And he slams it down on the table and he's like, I want Willie Green gone in 24 hours. And 23 of them are already gone. I laughed pretty hard at that.
So, like an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, okay, wait, we're going to have to go over the math here. It's either you or me that doesn't know how to do it.
It's weird.
So him and Queen Bee stop by the karate dojo and give a speech to the karate ladies that he's back and he's got the club back and they're not going to take shit from nobody anymore and they're going to throw a party.
So and they wear their shoes onto the goddamn mat,
Oh,
and she's smoking.
Savages.
I'm not sure how they didn't get beat up by Chuck Norris for doing that.
And these ladies are all like, like he's giving like his fucking Bobby Kennedy speaking, and they're just like, yes, oh yes, that sounds so good. Vote Dolemite. Like, it's so weird. But Willie Green stops by the mayor's house, who's also having a party, and they're connected. The mayor's dirty and is supporting Willie Green, I guess, with his criming. So
He gives a little shot at Nixon too. They really don't like Nixon during this movie.
yeah. Well, who does? And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take care of Dolemite for you. We're not gonna let him get away with him doing his Dolemite stuff." And so Dolemite goes to the church and gives the Reverend $200 because the Reverend's like, "Give me $500." He's like, "I'll give you $200." Why are you giving him money at all?
At all.
For a tip,
And then
a hot tip.
That's it.
He doesn't get one. Like, he goes down there. He ends up like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna snitch you out for all these guns," and the
Right.
Reverend's like, "I will shoot your ass right here." And they're like, "All right, I like how you roll, Rev. I guess I'm not getting my $200 back, and you haven't helped me at all." End scene.
Yeah, the dead people in the coffins pop up with machine guns.
They've just been, hey, that's his strategy. Okay, boys, in case Dolemite gets a little lippy, I want you guys to pretend that you're dead, but at any point pop up and point a gun at. Why can't we just stand behind you and be like normal bodyguards? No, it's cooler if you're dead.
Yeah,
you
no,
won't
this
see
is-
it coming.
Yeah, and for his $200, he gets told to go down to the docks and to dig through the fish barrels.
Right, so that he can find a fish that's stuffed with cocaine?
Okay, so that was the hot tip.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why
we're
does he
piecing this
care?
together now. So he tipped him off on the cocaine. I don't think it helps though.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think that
he
this.
already knew that Willie Green was into the coke because that's how he got fucking framed.
Right?
Yeah, and not to mention that this never comes back around.
It never
Like they never
comes
talk
back.
about the cocaine again.
Or the nephew. This is the end of that of,
Yeah, it's
of
like-
Dolemite on his revenge path.
I do like that the Rev at least has some pageantry in his villainy though. He's kind of the only one doing it right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I like when they're walking into the church and Chai's like, This place gives me the creeps. I hope we don't see a ghost. And Dolemite's like, if you see a ghost, just cut them. What? You don't even know how ghosts work, Dolemite. God damn it. So now it's party time. They're having the party. It's fucking weird. There's like a shitty Earth, Wind, and Fire there.
Yeah. No, it's like he starts up and you're thinking, oh, he's a pimp. This is a strip club. And then what you get is like fucking Lawrence Welk.
Right?
You got a band that's Then there's some like dancers that are
Oh, no, wait, you gotta go
ethnically
back.
ambiguous Hawaiian dancers.
You got to go back to the singing lady that they bring on after Earth, Wind, and Fire. They bring on a female artist soloist that they cannot get the words and her mouth to match
At all.
the entire thing.
No.
And she's got these weird teeth that look like they shoved in extra teeth on top of her actual teeth to give her like this big horsey looking mouth.
Yeah.
They're like, this is really going to accentuate your singing.
It's how Freddie Mercury got that second octave, right? You know?
Mm.
Too many teeth.
It reverberates off your teeth.
Uh-huh.
You can hit the high F now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. More teeth, the better.
Oh, she was so terrible.
Alligators are the best singers I've heard. Because they're toothy. No?
Nope.
Don't like it, huh? Don't
No.
like singing alligators?
I do like the
No.
Crocodile Rock.
Oh, okay.
God damn it.
The Muppets Crocodile Rock.
So
Because the
then-
Elton John Crocodile Rock sucks.
Yeah.
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 But when he's singing it with the Muppets and, you know, those crocodiles jump up behind him and they start singing along, you're like, yes. Now I like this song.
Now on the stage comes the Dolemite Dancers. He's actually got a dance troupe named after him.
Uh-huh.
And they suck.
Yep.
I'm with Sam. I totally had that. Is this Hawaii? Is this supposed to be Africa? Is this supposed to be Native American?
I don't know.
I
what
think
the
it's
fuck.
supposed to be Hawaiian, but it's very ambiguous and it sucks.
It sucks.
And the last
You
guy that
wouldn't
comes
pay to
out.
watch this.
Exactly. And plus, the last guy that comes out, right? He looks like a voodoo priest
Kind of, yeah.
with his weird, like, yellow. So when you first see him, he's, you know, all you can see is the yellow feathers, yellow and black feathers going. You're like, what the fuck is that supposed to be? And then you realize it's a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When then you think he's going to chase down Dr. Jones.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's like the same guy from Temple of Doom.
Totally. But then he comes out and just starts giving his fucking slam poetry shit about a fucking monkey that's getting eaten by a lion. And it's dumb.
Yeah, he's good, though.
Well,
You got to give him that. He's very good.
It's dumb, though. Like,
I
sure,
don't think I was dumb. It was just...
a monkey falls out of a tree and gets eaten by a lion.
After the lion
Well,
got his ass kicked by an elephant.
Yeah, see, the way he told it was way better. Sure, it was a simple story, but he can embroider, that man. That man can do it.
Okay. I didn't like it.
And then you pan to the audience, and neither do they.
Neither
They're
did
so
the
bored.
audience is like, huh?
Yeah. And it should be mentioned that we've gotten basically the full act on every one of these as well. Like, a major portion of this movie is just a variety show.
Right. So, after the Dolemite Dancers and after Dolemite Slam Poetry, Willie Green's there, and he's like, here's the deal, Dolemite. You owe me another $100K of interest, which is a really bad deal on a loan for anybody. And, or you got to partner up with me.
Well, we've already established that they're bad at math.
Yeah, it's true.
At this point, though, Dolemite does get some math savviness, and his response mathematically is, fuck you.
Fuck you, you insecure motherfucker. And so Willie Green just starts shooting up the place.
He's very insecure.
He's very insecure.
And this is
so
this
weird.
is when Dolemite goes and changes. He's like, all right, well, if this is going to be a fucking gunfight, I'm going to go put on new clothes.
Like right before I think Queen Bee gets shot in the back, and he's just like, oh, I gotta go change.
And
Sorry.
I guess she doesn't make it because we never see her again.
Never see Queen Bee again.
Yeah, I mean, at least he did the over his shoulder glance to see her get shot as he runs to his dressing room.
Oh man, I gotta really change now. Queen Bee's been shot.
Yeah, he's like, man, Queen Bee, you should have changed. You wouldn't have got shot.
And everybody just starts doing kung fu fighting all over the place. All of it's terrible.
And then, like, we get this close-up shot of somebody. It's a random shot, like they're right in the middle of a fight scene, and then somebody's bloody face is like right in front of the camera.
Oh no, that's so the cook at the club is also a karate expert.
Of course.
And he karates the guy over to the stove and then pours hot oil on him and grills his face.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that part, but then it seemed really random when this bloody face showed up on the thing. And then who the fuck goes in and it's like, okay, we're kicking everybody's ass out here. Let's go get the chef.
Yeah, we can't forget the chef. We gotta kick his ass too.
And then you realize that you're around a guy that's used to working really hard and fast, and he's surrounded by knives.
Right.
Like, I've made a bad decision. This man has got nothing but weapons all around him.
The ladies are kicking guys in the face. Some are getting shot. Others are like shooting at whoever. I don't know who's on whose side during this whole fucking thing. But upstairs, Dolemite and Willie Green are fighting, and I think it just ends with Dolemite getting shot in the shoulder and then ripping out Willie Green's tummy.
Yeah, he reaches into his stomach and pulls it out. And then the FBI agent decides to mercy kill Willie Green, who's dying slowly and horribly on the floor.
Right.
But at least he's being quiet. I mean, he's not down there making a bunch of noise.
So now the movie's over. I mean, the main villain is dead.
Yeah, that's what you would think, right? And also, it appears that Dolemite has been shot in the heart, and it's only bothering him at a minor level.
Right. He's very Chuck Norris-y that way. Ugh. Bullets are itchy.
And then the FBI guy's like, we should get you to the hospital. Okay. Like, don't check up on the rest of the fighting that's happening, or your club, or your Queen Bee that got shot. Like, fuck all them. I need to go to the hospital. My shoulder's bleeding out.
I hurt. I'm owie. And the mayor gets a call from Mitchell, the cop, and tells him about the party, and the mayor's like, I want Dolemite dead. Calls in goon squad to hit another hit squad, and then some lady just comes in and is like, you motherfucker, I hate you. I'm going to shoot you, mayor.
And then shoots his wife instead during a scuffle.
That was his wife?
Yeah, he's like, where's my wife? And she's like, she's in there laying around like a lazy bitch because she is one or something like that. And she's like, it doesn't matter, I'm going to shoot your ass on the toilet. And then his wife shows up and they scuffle, and she just gets one put right in her face, falls into the shower.
And then the mayor chokes whoever that person was out.
I thought it was Pinky. The same lady from the red sheet sex scene.
Right, but what's she doing there?
She's a plant.
Uh-huh.
I guess.
She's getting
right?
close to the mayor so she can kill him.
Yeah.
How does the mayor have anything to do with anything?
I don't know. But then the FBI guy decides to shake down the mayor, and it seems like he climbed up the whole side of the Hollywood Hills to do it.
Right.
Because he comes off of the cliff edge and then just hops in. Or he can jump really high. Because the view is fantastic up there, and he came in through the terrace, and you're like, how did you fucking get up here, bud? That's impressive.
Yeah. So he chases after the mayor, chases him all the way to the airport, and I guess the mayor's gonna make a run for Colombia or something, disappear.
He's put a hit out on Dolemite, and he wants to get safe before it's carried out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but he doesn't make it because the cop just shoots him in the back. That cleans up that mess. Dude, you just shot the mayor.
You just shot the mayor. Also, he then has to tell Dolemite that there's a hit out on him. No, there isn't. You just shot the only guy that could pay that. No one's going to do it for free.
Right.
But I guess there's a couple of guys that didn't get the news.
They didn't check Twitter.
They didn't.
Yeah. he goes to Dolemite's room, and the hit squad's coming, but they go to the wrong room because I guess Dolemite told the front desk lady to like.
Nope, she's a plant too.
Okay,
That's Chicago.
That's Chicago.
Oh.
That's shy for Chicago.
Oh, I didn't catch that. That was
Yeah,
who that was.
he's got the karate gals planted all over town.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so they get ambushed by Dolemite and the cop, and they're all dead. And the cop arrests Mitchell and his partner.
No, so I don't think you're explaining this very good.
Okay.
Because the first 3 goon squad, hit squad guys, right? They come in, they shoot up the place, get their asses kicked, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the dumbass cops like come in like a couple minutes later and they're like, I'm gonna kill you. Dolemite's like, dude, fucking seriously, my shoulder hurts, the morphine's wearing off, and I've already killed 3 other people. And then that's when the FBI guy decides that he's gonna get involved in the fight and steps forward and goes, you're under arrest. And the other 2 are like, oh, damn it.
Oh.
And then these 2 other agents like bum rush in and they're like, yeah, we've been here the whole time, but we were getting a coffee and having a cigarette in the back. So we're just now here. I'm glad that those other 3 douchebags didn't kill you.
Right.
But, you know, I am allowed a 15-minute break for every few hours that I work. And
That's
you know,
the law.
I'm going to take it. So sorry about that one. But, hey, we're here for this one.
Yeah. No, he's brought in the incorruptible Force California Highway Patrol from the seams of it.
And then the whole movie just ends.
Yeah.
Outside,
we have to mention...
he's like, Dolemite, so what are you going to do now? I don't know, because the fucking credits just started going. There's no time to do anything.
In the scene before he kills the 3 hitmen, they're outside of the room, and there's a guy that walks into the shot and goes, I'm not supposed to be in this shot. And then he backs out, and then he gets back in the shot and looks around the corner, and he's like, nope, they're still shooting. I was like, of course they're still shooting. It's been 2 seconds.
Right.
So he actually comes into the shot that he's not supposed to be in, goes, I'm not supposed to be here, not once, but twice.
Yeah, I saw that guy. I loved him. I'm like, do you see that guy in the background? He kind of looked confused.
Who is that guy?
Like, okay. He's like, I'm just going to go back to my room. The other weird thing that I saw when I was watching this was like the first time that he has a sex scene, there's like a ventriloquist head.
Oh my God, what the fuck
on
was
the
that
nightstand
head?
that looks like him.
Did you see that, Sam?
Yeah, he has a sculpture, a plastic head of himself next to his bed.
Yeah, but it's got like a super
weird.
long neck.
Yeah,
was-
it doesn't. It's weird.
It was weird. Who does that?
I thought it was like part of a ventriloquist doll, you know, like he's like, you know, because he's kind of a showman. And like, he's like, okay, I'm going to do my act for you real quick. And she's like, what?
No.
And then he like goes underneath, you know, like hides on the side of the bed. And then the puppet head comes up and he's like, hi, I'm Mr. Sparkles.
Yeah, nothing sexier than puppets.
Yeah. And then he has this whole like,
Seems like you've got a nice lady over today. What are you guys going to do?
Yeah.
Hot,
Yeah,
yeah, baby.
even Jeff Dunham would watch this and be like, oh no, Mo, you don't bring those into the bedroom. Trust me.
I bet you think this is sexy, don't you?
watch me choke on this wiener.
What?
The puppet is now giving him a bluey.
He's going to have
So he's
sex.
just jacking off with the puppet in front of somebody? Not
Yeah.
sexy.
Okay.
And he's like,
this
do
is
you
my
want
own
to join
head.
us?
Look it.
Isn't that what happened to Louis C.K.? Why we don't have him anymore?
He didn't have the puppet.
Right. He forgot a vital step.
Yeah, that would have just been like, wow, what a weird guy.
What a strange man.
I can't even tell on him for this because that's just like, wow, I'm sorry, buddy, if that's okay. All right. Get a bluey from Mr. Muffles. That's fine by me, I guess.
Everybody's got their freakiness, you know? We're all a bunch of nasty freaks.
I would laugh though because he probably got a splinter in his wiener and he's like, "Oh no, not again!"
Well, you don't jack off with Pinocchio.
You get the plastic one, Jackie.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, was it good for you, puppet? No. I hated it. Okay. Yeah, and then it just fucking ends. Like, just doesn't even end normally when movies just end. It's mid-sentence.
It just stops happening.
Right.
And he's got another sweet outfit on. But then you know that he's like ready for this movie to keep going because he's got another outfit over his shoulder. Like, this is going to take too long. I'm going to have to change my clothes.
Oh, man. What a weird time. Who wants to ask some questions?
How is this thing only 90 minutes long?
Right?
It seems like it's 2 hours long, but it's only 90 minutes.
It's because it's a pile of movie. It's like,
It
it's
is,
not,
yeah.
if it was a book, you wouldn't call it a page turner because it's just random scenes all stuck together.
And they couldn't leave anything out. They had to use everything they shot because
Except
they
for
barely
when
made
he
90 minutes.
Inserted his penis into a woman. They
Yeah,
cut that
well,
out.
that part, I guess. They were able to cut 7 seconds from this movie.
Yeah, right. 7 seconds. Throwing him under the bus, eh? Yeah, I don't know. It did feel longer than 90 minutes for sure, but Jackie?
I don't know.
Okay.
This thing was just such a fucked up mess. And I spent the entire time going, what?
What the fuck?
Why is he talking about the Titanic in a parking lot with a bunch of randos?
Right.
What is happening?
And they're like passing money back and forth. Like they're placing bets on how good his slam poetry is.
Very strange. Yeah, the 2 Dolemite
Weird.
sequences where he brings the character out, you're like, boy, these don't fit.
Nope.
Sure don't.
So weird.
And who is this guy's tailor? Like, I need to know who made all of those clothes. They were wonderful.
Pimpins Are Us.
He looked great.
Yeah.
And the ladies looked scandalous.
And high. Everybody.
Oh,
looked
yeah.
high.
It was like, I don't care if my boobs are out. Pass the joint.
Oh, man.
Yeah, like, rolling. What? Okay, wait, give it another 5 seconds. Huh? Okay, just stop asking what. I know you're really stoned right now, but just shut up.
What?
Shut up. Shut up your face.
What?
And yeah.
What?
And they're like, just turn the boom mic off. We just need to shoot them for their boobs.
Right. My question is, does he do anything?
He kills people.
Yeah, but the whole thing was supposed to be him getting let loose like he's fucking Gator McCluskey and go clean up the town. You know, you're working for the man now. I don't think he does that. It's kind of like he doesn't do anything about Willie Green until Willie Green attacks him in his dressing room.
Yeah. No, they're like, oh, go back and take your criminal empire. And he's like, I don't really care about that. I just like the club.
Right? And so I don't think that he's a free man. Like the deal the warden made with him is not accomplished, really.
He also had murdered a lot of people in plain sight and is fine, I guess.
Yeah.
I want to know who got him out of jail. Because I was under the understanding that the mayor wanted him out of jail to take care of Green.
Uh-huh.
But then the mayor's like, hey, fucking take care of Dolemite because Green's being a little bitch and is complaining he can't take care of his own fucking problems. And then it's like, nope, kill Green. Then it's, nope, kill Dolemite. And so it's like, okay, so are these things fucking connected? Did the FBI bail you out? What the fuck is happening?
And when in that sex scene where he roughs her up, he's like, did you get me out of jail? And he's like, he gets mad at her for it. Like, what the fuck, Dolemite? Who are you? What are you?
I doesn't know.
Which implies that they're like, all right, you're out, Dolemite. He's like, okay. And he just walks out and thinks nothing of it.
Right.
How'd you get out? Oh, I thought they just let you out after you cooled your heels for a couple
open.
days.
Yeah.
They made me think about what I'd done. I didn't feel bad about it, but I had to sit there for 2 days, and I will probably do it again.
I got to hang out with all my friends, though. Played a lot of cards. Pretty good.
Now, come on. If he gets caught again, they're going to make him write an essay on why murdering people in a crackhead's room is wrong. But he got away with it once when he got done because, they still needed him to get the dirty cops.
400 words on my desk in the morning, Dolemite. I want that essay.
That's right. Don't just fucking plagiarize something off of the internet, you dick.
Sam, you got any other questions?
Do you guys think that Dervell Martin had a lot of scenes that were cut?
Yeah.
It seems that way because I don't know what he does either. Like, I know he's doing coke, but like, you never really see him do anything.
For a guy that gets a freeze frame second billing, he doesn't have a lot of screen time.
Right? Yeah.
I think that there was a lot more to that backstory between the two of them that they cut out because they probably thought when they did the flashback scene, they were like, oh yeah, people are going to get it. Green was in the car.
Right.
You know? Yeah, I mean, they're going to know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And then they're going to, no, they'll know, right? Because we put him in the car.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's clear.
Yeah,
Clear as day.
and obviously this is about being a fur trapper and, making your claim on the territory and who you're going to trade your pelts with. And
we know you've been skinning beavers, Dolemite.
That does lead me to another question. Was the stolen furs black market that hot in the 70s?
I don't know. Where would you...
I kind of thought that fur started to become unpopular in the late 70s because of PETA.
Well, yeah.
And, like people were throwing paint and shit on people.
Yeah, I think that was the 80s.
For
yeah,
wearing,
it was the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying late 70s.
No, it wasn't late
become...
70s. The late 70s is not the 80s.
Okay,
totally
whatever.
different periods of time.
Anyway, when I think about a fur coat, I think of the roaring 20s, right? Where before the Great Depression, where everybody's got a bunch of money and it's just lavish fucking diamonds coming out your butthole and fucking on fur coats.
Okay.
But it begs the question, how much are these like, oh yeah, I got the mother load. It's a truckload of fur coats.
Where do you
Be
go?
able to really, where do you fence a truckload of fur coats? And how much do you get? It's like in Fast and the Furious when you find out they're stealing VCRs. It's like, you better be stealing a lot of those fucking VCRs to make money off this.
Right. I mean, the idea is that you would only want a stolen fur coat because it was cheaper, which defeats the point of owning the fur coat. Like, when you are a fur coat person, you're not interested in getting a good deal. You want to pay more because it's more Great Gatsby shit like Jackie's talking about.
Yeah.
Well, it's plumage.
Yeah, right.
We like our plumage as people.
Yeah, you're peacocking.
When I wear my fur coat out that I bought at a yard sale that had probably been in somebody's musty ass basement that kind of looks ratty and disgusting and one of the arms have fallen off, I still feel fancy. So I'm like, this thing has been dead for centuries. I'm just giving it a second chance. And no, I'm not going to pay $200 to clean it because I only paid $24 for it at a yard sale.
Yeah, I don't know if the counterfeit fur coat market is booming.
When he gets busted at the beginning of the movie, they're like, oh, the drugs and the furs, and it's in the trunk of a car. So he's got like a Daniel Boone hat in, and he's getting fucking sent upstate for the rest of his life over a fucking raccoon cap.
Right.
Well, he was going to start his own franchise business, right? Daniel Boone Tours. And he was going to lace everybody's, free sandwich with a little bit of cocaine so that it seemed like it was a really exciting trip. And then he's going to sell them the coon hats at the end, which is really just neighborhood cats.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That he's got his strippers, going out and catching these cats like during the day when they're not at the club.
They've got a whole operation in the basement. Everybody's wearing masks and counting money, and it's skinny cats.
They are making so much off of these cat skin coon hats.
And then the bodies just get shipped over to the
Chinese
restaurant across the street. And
exactly. See, this business.
They're double dipping.
And then, the cocaine just makes sure that it ensures that you're having a good time. But you got to know exactly how much to give little kids. You got to start guessing body weights.
Whoa.
Because, they got to have special sandwiches for different body weights. Like,
the kids have to have a good time too, Sam.
Yeah. I mean, they are like, here's a Kool-Aid pack. Why does this taste funny? Because it's actually fucking wine.
Yeah.
Just drink it, you little fucker.
All right. We got anything else?
What do you guys think he did after they shut down his strip club?
Yeah, they shut down his strip club.
I mean, he's still got the house.
He's like, I'm going back to the neighborhood to do something I've always done or something. Like, it it was unclear. He's like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I guess I'm just going to go home.
Right.
See you later. I
Boy.
guess getting away with like 12 murders is good enough for me. Bye.
Yeah, I think he just goes home and hangs out.
Yeah.
That's the journey of Dolemite. I want to say that he, travels the world and has adventures all over the place, but I don't think he does. I think he just goes home.
No, he goes home and he starts a unsuccessful career as a sexual puppeteer.
He tried to take it on the road, but
But he didn't want to leave the house.
yeah. Well, and he's got all those ladies still. I mean, he probably just pimps them out.
Some of them, we don't know. A lot of them could have died at the party.
That's true. But I mean, you're bound to lose some
Mm-hmm.
when you're in the game, Justin.
Right.
And you're hoping that the ones you lose are the ones that are the least earners.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to keep the ones with the big buttholes because they can shove more drugs up there.
God damn it.
Okay.
So it's like a butthole measurement test. And
So that you don't need buckets of fish, apparently.
yeah,
Right.
you just shove it up your butthole. You got a lot of intestines in there. I mean, you could get a lot of bags in.
Uh-huh.
It probably hurt like hell, but
That's how I feel today.
like you got bags of drugs stuck up your butt.
Somebody shoved a bunch of drugs up my ass last night because, man, my stomach hurts. Okay. I'm going to say final recommendations. Yeah, I liked Dolemite. I thought it was fucking bonkers, weird, really bad, and such terrible karate. I enjoyed it. I think it would be a good riffer. I think it's just a good fucking dumb, bad movie. Jackie?
This is my first time seeing it. And as far as the blaxploitation movies that we have watched, this one has been my favorite.
Oh, wow.
Just because it's like two people are writing a movie and then they splice it together, like Sam said, and it's kind of fucking weird. And
It's like a Godfrey Ho movie almost.
then they say
It is.
random fucked up shit.
Really fucked up
Like
shit.
you're an insecure motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then, pop right in your face. And you don't know how half these people are. And, like,
What they're doing.
I didn't catch that the mayor was in bed with his wife and then this hooker. I didn't think that was
Who
the
the
mayor's
fuck are
wife.
you?
Like, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
And then, yeah, I mean, that level of you kind of know what's going on, but not enough to really pick anything apart.
And was anything really going on?
I don't know. It was just fucking chaos, and I loved all the outfits and
Chaos.
the snarky remarks that people were making, and I don't know. I really liked it.
Dolemite is my name, and fucking up fuckers is my game. Sam?
I think it's an absolute do. At some point, I'm going to buy the Blu-ray because the Blu-ray has the microphone version where you can watch it in full screen. And it may have not been as popular with people in the VHS era because of how much of a different movie framing makes this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are like, oh, this is one of the best. There's ones that I like a lot better. And I think that even though I think this is a total do and one you should watch, it is not Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song.
No.
It is not. And it gets compared to that and like, oh, this is a sort of masterpiece in the genre. Like, no, Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song 1 was very early and 2 is really good. I haven't seen it in about 15 years, but I really like Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song. And I don't know that I would ever pick it for this podcast because I actually think it's kind of good.
Anybody who said that Dolemite is a good movie, it's got a 67 Metacritic. Dolemite is a bad movie. Like, it is piss poor in quality and technical work and acting. And again, everybody's fucking high and it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I'm going to stop you right there because the costumes were amazing.
Okay, the costumes are good.
The costume designer and sewers were great.
To me, it's not that aspect wasn't as good as Truck Turner. But I don't know why people think that this is like, oh yeah, this is one of the best blaxploitation movies. It's one of the funnest, but this is a bad movie.
Yeah, even for $100,000, like I give it way major props that you did it for $100,000. That you actually got it done. Making a movie like this is also amazing, and then apparently it made $12 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it cooked in the theaters, and I think the people that saw it in the theaters are the ones who were the most affected by it because that VHS copy is so much different. But yeah, it's an absolute do. But if you've never seen Sweetback's Badass Song and you want to see what this movie wanted to be, watch that one.
Okay, all right. Next week will be Sam's pick, programming update since it's Memorial Weekend. We won't be releasing on Monday. We'll be releasing on Tuesday. So, Sam, what are we doing for the next movie?
I will have to get back to you on Wednesday for that.
God damn it.
Ha! Ha ha ha! I know what my next movie is.
Ha ha ha.
2 weeks in advance, gentlemen.
All right, well, save it for your turn.
Fine.
You son of a gun. All right, well, you guys enjoy your week. Listen to our Coronasode for Thursday, and get to the chopper.
Fans of Stinker Madness, iTunes thinks you don't like us. What? How is that possible? Well, it's because you haven't given us a review yet. Go to Stinker Madness on iTunes and take just a couple seconds to rate and review us there. While you're at it, hit up Stitcher.com as well. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter @/Stinker Madness and email us at talk@stinkermadness.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening and get to the chopper.